I've been doing photography for 7 years. Okay. 5.5 of those years was senior portraits, weddings, families, like that style of stuff, which in my humble opinion, I think I got pretty good at for doing it like one man band, no one to handle like lighting or like, anything like that. And also not really like diving into that. I've only been doing this stuff. So like the product, like more emphasis on that for like a year and a half. Like I did none of that at home, like zero. So it's been a lot of like growing into that.
All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 11 here at Simply Winning Podcast. We're going to get right into having Coco on the podcast.
Yeah.
We call him Coco, but most of you will know him as Colton Bushue.
And let's be pretty transparent here. I can't tell you the last time I was like truly called Coco. So that's true.
That's all we say.
Actually, that's actually I was your name.
In text, that's all I say. Oh, Coco.
Hunter is one of the few that's still my sisters. My dad calls me Co. And other than that, it's Colton or maybe like motherfucker.
I think I called that. No, you're actually in my phone as Colton B, but then also crosses in my phone as Cross B. So yeah, the problem is whenever we're in when I'm texting, I'll send cross text to you on accident, or vice versa, because the abbreviation. Yeah, fuck it. I gotta change that.
Coco with the rocket.
That's what I should have.
Showing up my location and shit.
Anyway, how's the day going for you?
Because how's the day going?
I'm hurting a little bit right now.
Yeah. Well, so this is gonna be a pretty. It feels like it's gonna be a low energy Saturday podcast, but
not until he sips some of that rain.
Brought to you by Wayne Body Fuel. Wayne Body Fuel.
Not sponsored yet, technically.
Technically, the podcast is not, but
yes, and we are on the podcast right now. So
yeah.
But no, my day, shit.
Anyone said they also on?
No, Rachel's going there in like an hour. But I basically grocery shopped, tried to get the house together, and then been here. I didn't set an alarm this morning because I said fuck that, and it was incredible.
Same.
Yeah, it feels so good. Not saying like an alarm in the morning. Usually I set it for like 5:15, 5 o'clock. The days that you don't have to do it, listen, maybe it's just like the don't want to grind in me. I don't know, but God, it feels so good not setting alarm.
Yeah, because you're a pretty early riser. You're always the first one here, don't you?
Yeah, especially
did it?
That's part. I remember it. Like it's either me or you. Actually, it's been me and Riley. But like at the old studio, usually I'd be the first one there. I would like vacuum and stuff and make sure that like this wasn't completely nasty. It was a little bit easier to take care of than this one.
This one's a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger, way more desks.
Yeah, more of hooligans making a mess.
And I mean that's just like the nature of
more products.
Yeah, like there's just way more stuff here, which is good. It's good. It's just my ADHD man brain doesn't do as well here. At least like cleaning wise, and where I usually just walk up to my perch and.
We have so much going on. Everyone I tell that comes in here, there's too much going on for us to keep this organized. Like it's just too much.
Yeah, because you organize it, then immediately someone comes in with something.
Yeah, or we got to shoot it.
Like whether it's a client, whether it's one of us, whether it's there's always something.
Yeah, there's like 5. I mean, there's going to be at least 5 big studio shoots next week in the studio. So I already know it's going to be.
Yeah, I thought the misconception of like the YouTube desk tours or whatever.
Yes.
You see everybody's desk is like all perfect and beautiful.
Yeah. Do it for the shot. Yeah. I mean, I believe some of them actually keep it clean because they don't have a lot going on. They don't even work from there. They just come home to like a gaming setup. But
yeah, which like I can keep a gaming setup clean, but I gaming at it or like working at keeping a workstation clean is one thing. Oh, keeping an entire studio clean that we are actively shooting in and always doing something different. There's lights around, something you're shooting here and there. Like it's just we are not a YouTube.
We're not the same.
Yeah, we're not a YouTube desk setup. Sadly,
no, not
sadly. Just
So this is your it's the first podcast with you just on it. Because we had the other one back in the day. If you guys go back to season 1, it's like when we were in the townhouse. That was a while ago.
Yeah.
That's when Colton moved down. So Colton, here's the deal with Colton. He technically he's the first guy to work with us on Brotherdale projects. Perry's our first employee to come down and like commit to full time, and then Colton shortly after followed, which was dope. But Colton was actually on the Celebrity Sweat stuff before Perry was here. It was kind of wild. He's an OG, and technically before even Brotherdale, he worked on things with both of us. So that's pretty wild. You want to speak to that a little bit because you actually know Colton longer than I have, way longer. So.
Well, I'm sure we said this in the past when he like hopped on here. We said it and other things, but yeah, Colton and I pretty much started cameras at the exact same time, and our journey of photography was pretty much on the same timeline. I got into video a lot more than he did, just because that's what we started doing a lot more. But we've shot many weddings together. He helped out on shoots for me. I've helped out on shoots for him. His family's been a big blessing. Shout out to his mom and his sisters and everyone that let me stay at his house. Literally, probably like 50 times. No joke. Yeah. Every time I went to Effingham, because I used to live there, but then when I moved away, obviously I didn't have a place to stay. Just friends that I knew, and Colton always let me crash in his room. And with the good old Metro down there, he's right down there. So I've literally known Metro since he was a pup. But yeah, it's been a blessing to be on this journey together for sure.
100%.
Yeah, and I'm very thankful for that, because like a lot of those trips up to Effingham is where most of my money was made until I started to get more of my name in Southern Illinois, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the thing with freelance that's really hard, especially moving.
Yeah,
like that was for me. I was lucky too. Whenever I made the jump to come down here, I was kind of slowing. Not like intentionally, I was just slowing down. Like some people, I mean, you guys know I'm not like the biggest like faith-based person, but like some people would call it kind of like a blessing, like a heaven sent kind of thing. Cause like I was starting to slow down, but I didn't know exactly what it was for, but it kind of worked out to where I only had to go home maybe like 6 times from moving down here.
Yeah.
So I kind of position myself to be ready to kind of like leap into something, whenever that opportunity came. It came right whenever he got married. But
no, yeah, I mean, that was good. I think in like those kind of areas, like if you can take over the market and do that stuff, like you can kill it as a freelancer. But also, it gets boring after a little while.
Yeah,
you're not like passionate about weddings or senior photos or all like that stuff. I feel like there's like a group of people that are super passionate about that and they kill it in a small town. Mm-hmm. And then there's people that do it to get started like we did. And then it's like, I'm going to do something else.
Yeah. It's kind of your like cash cow to find something like what you really want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what's funny? I don't even know when I met Colton. I don't know if you remember the first time, but I have no idea. And do you remember?
No, we've actually been having this conversation pretty frequently recently, and we can't nail down a day.
Right. First day I met you.
Wait, when we first met him?
No, you met him like before I did. I don't know whenever.
The first time I met you in person was at my first house.
Was that at the gym?
No, it was my first house. That was the first.
When we first met was at the gym.
No, the gym was the second time you DM'd me.
No, Alec told me to come work out. That's when I first met you, bro. And then I knew about you. Then I DM'd you about those.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So those 2 times, I remember those days though. But for Colton, I don't remember the first time I put.
We don't know why. We probably don't know.
Maybe the first time you meeting you.
Look, and this was a crossfire.
Whenever was it that, or was it whenever you went to Hunter's parents' house? You guys were going to Florida. I popped in for a little while.
That could be it.
But the first time
as well. I had met you like quite a few times like online, so maybe that's why it's
yeah. It's so weird.
I don't know.
I have no clue. I'm trying to see if I can find
anyway, the point is, he just appeared in my life one day. I don't remember when it was. Yeah. I actually can't remember not knowing Colton, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah, no, really. I mean, it is weird because, like, I feel like I know that I met him well before I met you, but I have, for some reason, I feel like the memories with you kind of start whenever I met him, which is not at all how it is. But
so how old are you? Because you guys grew up in the same, like, town, right?
Yeah.
So you guys know each other?
Well, I mean, for a little while, we only lived 5 minutes from each other.
Yeah, like not
The way a crow
What year-
flies, like
what year was
literally a
that?
mile.
Yeah.
The way the crow flies, boy. You like that?
That was when we were in junior high.
Yeah, because you moved.
I mean, it was a sophomore year of high school. But I believe when did you used to live out there in the country? It was junior high, right? Well,
My grandma's house is still right there.
yeah, I know.
So was Hunter a bully in junior high, or
No, I
got
the
bullied.
different schools.
I got bullied.
you got bullied?
I mean, a little bit. I wouldn't say I got bullied. I don't want to go that far, but I definitely got picked on more than all the other kids. I mean, I used to be like chubby, and I was not the best. I was not the best in basketball. I was into computer nerdy stuff, like building computers and weird stuff. I don't know. I just didn't like fit in fully with the norm. But I was friends with everyone. It was just weird. Whenever some of the kids would get in their like posse of athletes, they would like make fun of me or kick me
I
out.
hated that back.
It's so stupid. And then now most of those kids are just
Yeah.
they're following me now.
I had a weird, because I was homeschooled, but then I was good at sports. So they like, because I wasn't into like games and stuff. So I was just really good at sports, athletic, but I also was homeschooled. So I went to high school. It was like the cool kids didn't know if I was cool because I could beat them in sports, or if I was a loser, but they couldn't do anything about it because I was better at sports. Does that make sense?
They couldn't snitch you out.
They couldn't step
It was all based on how good you were at sports back then. Pretty much.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
That's high school, essentially, unfortunately.
Like-
And maybe not now, I don't know. But
I know. Like I was ass at sports, but I was in sports enough to like be able to like finagle my way and like find those fingers. But then I had my core group of friends, which I'm still very good friends with.
yeah.
And like I was just someone that I could kind of float around and be with. Like
I feel like you were
at
friends
least-
with a lot of people. I feel like you've always had some good friends.
I just don't like to like fully burn bridges. I don't believe in like being a dick. Not like fully. Like, listen, sue me. But like whenever the homeless guy walks up to my car, I'm looking.
Get away.
But like most people, if you're trying to talk to me, I'll at least like give you the like time of day. If like some people are like overly nice. Here, okay, so here you have overly nice. You have asshole. I probably live a little bit farther closer to nice. Like I'm not like over the top. I'm not like fuck you. I don't want to talk to you. I'm more like hey,
Yeah.
what's up? Good morning.
Yeah. I think Hunter's pretty nice all the time. Just if he's tired, they just gotta know he's tired. That's about
It's
it.
not even when I'm tired, actually. It's just I get annoyed about stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna act like I don't get like annoyed and like just like someone comes up to me and I'm just like, please for the love of fucking God, don't talk to me. But
Yeah. I feel like if I get triggered, then I'm not nice. But I feel like I'm trying to be pretty nice.
you get very
Yeah.
you get feisty. You get
He's gotten feistier over time.
especially you pull up to the airport, you just know if Marcus is with you, something fucking bad is gonna happen.
I don't even know why.
He breeds problems in public. I don't get
It's crazy because I don't ever like go out to do that.
Mhm.
It's just like
It's just in your mind.
to me.
See,
Maybe
and
that's-
and the thing is,
I
I
do-
feel like some of these problems they happen to all of us. You are just very you which there's nothing wrong with it. You're very voiceful. So you were willing to have like the conversation, like the uncomfortable conversation, like basically like the you say it a little bit nicer way most of the times, but it's basically like a fuck you fix this, where most people just be like, yo, all good.
Yeah, he's basically like, yo, TSA, dude, like, give me my crap. This is stupid. Like, basically.
Yeah, well, there's certain things like that just drive me up a wall. Dude, I will do so many things, but like little things that are like just no brainers.
Like when you're at tires.
When people, yeah, all right. When people can't like just do a simple thing, like look at the media pass problem we always have with TSA, not TSA, but like the airlines. Like, yes, we are not just randomly traveling with a bunch of Pelican cases and cameras. Like, we're obviously a media crew. Can you give us the pass?
Well, I think Metro unplugged the cord. He was over there rolling around. But
Everybody.
Yeah, I was just saying.
we're good.
Yeah, little things.
Little things.
Our common sense is like drive me up a wall.
But let's move on from some of these and let's go to photography because, I mean, Colton's over that here.
So Colton, what is your role? What would you call your title here?
Chief Minecrafter.
I'm goated on the sticks. No, I would say 100% head photographer.
You're a head photographer?
Would you say you have the best beard in the office?
Yes. Sorry.
Dang.
Why say
We need to have a.
I think you have the best haircut.
I think.
Thanks,
bro.
whenever
Shoot,
I
bet.
first got this haircut, I went to dinner. I told Rachel that I thought mine was the best, but I think I had the best change. So that was like blinding. You know, I could only see the change. But now that I have the haircut, I love the haircut. Shout out Ty. You've changed my life. You actually have changed my fucking life.
Ty is a good barber.
Yes,
Actually, so yeah. Speaking of that, we'll go back to photography. But Alan's gonna come on the podcast.
that'll be sick.
Yeah, Alan owns Culture Nashville. Mm-hmm. He said he never does podcasts, but he'd do ours. So
Let's go.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, that'll be dope.
In the next few weeks, we can get him on here.
Let's do it.
But anyway, back to photography. So you're the head photographer, Brother Dale. When did you start photography?
Back in the day, 20...
16 or 17.
I'll have
So,
the-
You know,
It's been a long time, but not
It
a long
doesn't
time.
seem like it's been a long time, but it actually has been a long time since then.
16 is 8 years.
2024.
17 is 7 years.
Yeah,
Hold on.
almost a
The
decade.
official date about right here. Hold on. We are looking at a photo. Shoot. It's somewhere on here. Dang it. I hate whenever it freaking...
So what was your? Do you remember your
Sorry
first
about that,
gig?
guys.
This is the question I
Actually,
always
yeah.
get. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
tell me your first gig, and I have another follow up question for that. Cause
So my first gig was Family Pictures. My first paid gig.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
yeah,
tell
I would
you,
say
like-
paid gig. First
Yeah,
paid gig. Yeah.
first paid one was Family Pictures at a winery on an incredibly rainy day. So we had to do it inside. At the time, I had like one little light, and I thought I was just gonna be. It was going to be incredible. They were some of the worst things I've ever taken. Sorry to whatever family that paid me to do that.
All right. Sorry to interrupt. It was in March of 2017.
Okay, yeah. So we're
Because you remember,
Just
this
over
is when I got my... I literally took this picture and I sent it to Colton when I got my camera.
that's the yep.
Yeah, and I unboxed it right here. This is the Canon EOS Rebel T5i. We both bought the same one. His just came in like a day or two early from mine.
Canon users out here.
So sorry,
But back in
to the family.
day-
Sorry.
Oh, I mean, yeah. So basically, it was that family winery, raining horribly outside. So we had to do it indoors. Editing was nowhere near the same as it is now. Even in the short 7 years, things have came a long way. And also, like, I didn't understand my camera. I didn't. So fumbling with a whole lot of stuff. But
I mean, 7 years is a long time to be in a profession and be like doing that stuff. It's a long time for a person to be in a career.
and I
But
mean,
That
it
is
seems
very
like
true.
it seems
That
like
is
it's a
very true.
short period of time because there's so much to learn. But like, it's actually like a decent amount. Like, you get a lot of knowledge over 7 years for sure.
Well, also, I mean, you're in the young... I mean, dude, we were learning how to make money in this stuff when... I mean, people say you weren't even, like, mature yet. I mean, really, like, we were because we were doing stuff and making money, but, like, brain doesn't develop to 25 type of crap. We're like, yeah, you really aren't
true.
even a real adult yet, and we're out here making money doing
Wait, how old are
photography.
you?
just turned 25.
Oh, welcome to the club of being an adult. No, okay.
Yeah, I'm about a little over halfway done.
Yeah, I know, right? Yo, 50, is that when you're
God, if
peacing
I make
out?
it to 50, I'll be.
So happy.
So
No, but for real though, like we were making money doing something we were passionate about at a young age. Most people never even get to make money doing something they're fully passionate about ever in their lifetime, and we were doing it right out of high school. In high school,
Yeah.
so like that's unheard of, really. I mean, and you see it online. It's so easy nowadays with like the online space of people to make money, but a lot of people aren't happy. They're not passionate about it in the sense. But and then the rarest thing of it all is all of the best friends being able to work together
Yeah,
on the
that's-
same
that's
thing that
crazy.
we're all passionate about.
Yeah.
I'll say the fact that this hasn't blown up, like, in our face somehow. Is,
I mean, let's be honest. It has a little bit before.
yeah. No, I'm just talking like I'm talking like worst case. You
Yeah.
know? Like because this is a small business. You guys have hired majority friends, so it's a very tricky line to walk. Extremely
totally.
tricky, but we are doing it extremely well.
Yeah, I think we are. And I think it comes down to also like it's like even between us, like we don't we never really had like we've had like disagreements and stuff, but like not a big argument because you can't blow up. Because if we blew up and then everything went crazy, then everybody else would like,
yeah, it wouldn't be good.
It wouldn't be good at all. So I think that's like a big thing of that. Like, just got to know the company is bigger than the little issues.
Yes.
A lot of little issues don't even matter. And Autumn gets mad at me all the time for being like, it doesn't matter. Like whatever it is, this doesn't matter. And that's like that's true most of the time. Like a lot of little issues that people think that are big when it comes to business or personal life or whatever it is, most of them just don't freaking matter. Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
And if you let them matter, then little things become big things and then stuff falls apart and then people hate each other. But also I think too, with the team that we picked, like everybody gets along pretty well for the most part. And it's just a culture behind everything. Like you can call somebody and they can help you. The team again and again have helped each other on random things in personal life that has nothing to do with business, and that's like makes the team better.
Well, I think it's also like everyone has their own lane and they sort of call the shots in that lane, and you just got to listen to it. It's like what we talk about all the time is we treat it like a team, not a family. And like in football, like if this person's supposed to call the offensive shots, you listen to that because they're calling the shot, and then the person calling the defensive stay in their lane. Whereas here, like for certain things, I got to call the shots on certain things. You got to call XYZ. It goes across the board. And then we entrust the team. If they're on a shoot, they got to call the shot. If we're not there or whoever's not there to call the shot, and we got to trust each other in that. And you just kind of have to go with it, whether you can't make everyone happy, especially whether it's a 3-man team or it's a 15-man company. You know, you can't make everyone happy. You just got to do what's best. Like Marcus said, for the business and to move the project forward. Really.
Well, and like even you can't even make a 1-man team happy all the time because like I bet you've not been happy before. I bet you've not been happy before. I know that I've not been happy before doing like stuff like by myself. So, So like, you know, if you can't keep yourself happy all the time, which like, that's just like a realistic thing. People are going to say, oh, you know, like it's possible to be happy all the time. Bullshit. Sorry. But like,
happiness is not, it's not like life is.
Happiness, like motivation.
It's not really about the happiness really. It's, I feel like it's more about being able to accomplish stuff, go like advance in whatever you're doing. If not even business stuff, it's just like life in general. If you stay on the same spot, you're going to be unhappy naturally.
Yeah.
But then it's painful to keep advancing. But whenever you go and advance to the next thing, it makes more happiness every time.
And I also think it kind of goes back to what you said earlier with like letting problems be problems.
Yeah.
Like you can be happy a lot if you just the things that a lot of people just think are problems. I don't even want to say a lot of people, like just the human population in general. If you think something's a problem, but it's not like actually a huge problem, well, that stole some of your happiness, and it actually probably wasn't that big a deal. If you could have just brushed it off, cool.
It's very true. And yeah, I mean, I agree too. Like we don't operate the company as like people are like, oh, it's family. Like, don't get me wrong. The whole team, everybody is like family to me for sure. But then we operate the business side of it as like a team or like a sports team or just a very logical way of doing it. Like, hey, we have this stuff. It has to get done. Here are options. Here are the options that are on the table. This is the only thing we can do. It sucks that we have to do this or whatever it is. Like, it has to happen. Like, we've had times where we had to go to like Indiana that one time. That was just a random thing that we had to go take care of. And I know you didn't want to go. And I was like, I didn't want to ask you to go, but there was only one option on the table. Yeah. And it was like, this is what we got to do.
And it ended up being fun.
Yeah, it was a blast.
I remember that.
I remember that. Yeah.
Well, so that, I mean, we can even tell a story because I feel like that story is a big part of like especially starting something like this. Like startups aren't beautiful. There's not like direct, things laid out for how things are going to operate, blah, blah, blah. Like, so basically what happened is it was, I think, probably like a Friday night.
I think it was a Thursday. We had to
I
go
may have
for the
heard
weekend
on Thursday.
Yeah.
But this was right after I moved down. So I was not fully aware of how things like operated like this. This was probably like within 2 months. Nothing had really happened yet to where I had to like just at the, like the drop of a hat just
Your weekend.
give up what, you know, the weekend, which I was used to like not doing weekends, but I also point of story. Thursday night, Marcus comes and says, "Hey, we have to go to Indiana tomorrow."
All weekend.
After we're done working,
Good luck, buddy.
you know, like whole day. And at first, like, you know, you just give someone that look like really? Like what? Like how do I not know about this like a week ago? Anyways, but basically I got pretty pissed off and I had to take some time and then talk to him later. So it wasn't like a like full blow up.
No, yeah. I mean, I told you, like, yeah, you can be mad. I get it. Be mad
But
for a while.
it doesn't change what like has to happen. That was like for me. It was good that happened to me then, because then it made me like fully realize like what was actually like required. Because at the end of the day, I still had a choice. You know, like I had a choice, but you make a decision right then and there that like, am I going to do what's necessary to be here, or am I, or because like I could go do anything else, and like anyone else could go do anything else, no matter like what you're doing. But are you going to do that like extra thing that isn't like?
Yeah, and those things are the things that keep the company going. Like, especially in the beginning, like you said, startup stuff is just you basically just forcing the company into success. That's all it is. And it's just thing after thing, like we did yesterday, where we had to just knock out this whole campaign because it was only one day until it was raining the rest of the week, and the deadline unfortunately fell in the middle of the rain, essentially. So we had to make sure everything was shot in one day, turn around everything, like make sure all the models are lined up, all the stuff that you don't want to do. Nobody wants to do that stuff, but nobody really ever does that stuff.
Yeah.
So if you could stand out and you just take care of it, it is what it is.
And that's why a lot of what we do is worth money,
Yeah.
because no
100%.
one else wants to like do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that is like we are building a company more or less on the things that other people aren't willing to do.
So can you tell me, because this is a question that we get a lot all the time. Like literally, I get a DM about this probably 3 or 4 times a week. How did you get started in the creative field, in photography? How did it even
Let's hear it.
happen? Because people do that people are like,
People want to know.
how'd you start this? And I have my answer. I think the answer goes, it's the same thing across the board, but just reiterate how you got started, because it's not really, it's not magic.
He took a photo.
No, yeah, it's definitely not magic. So
Pretty much.
basically, after especially like in this day and age, like I made the decision to buy a camera, and making that decision to buy the camera, and actually, so it's kind of like playing guitar or playing an instrument. I kept it out, and whenever you keep it out and it's just there, you're like, oh, okay, I'll fuck with this a bit. Then you fuck with it, you learn something, you say didn't like that, and you just kind of go from there. And that's more or less what I did. I think I initially bought it though because at that point in life I was wanting to make money. I knew that nothing would have pissed me off more than like going to college for 4 years. So I some people may hate me for it. I don't know. I really don't care. But I bought the camera to make money.
Yeah. Same.
I just figured out the way to, at least that worked for me to make money. And for me, that ended up being photography. I liked the like work put into like money ratio. Whenever I like started the video stuff, for me, I never loved it enough to like fully learn like to like the skill that you're at in that. So that's why I didn't, and like same with you, like you ended up choosing that video. It is generally speaking worth more money, but
Especially nowadays.
So
Yeah.
when you bought the camera, you took some photos and you ended up getting a paid gig. Is that kind of how it worked, or did you like how long in between you getting the camera and you actually doing something for money? How many months or years was in between that span?
maybe a month.
Yeah.
Because so I guess the photography for dummies nowadays would be buy camera, post pictures, say that you charge people for it, and people will come.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now it's gotten to be like we started 7 years ago, and it's now like, especially I feel like family pictures and stuff is probably a little bit more like saturated market because that's where everyone tries to start. You may be charging pennies on the dollar, and a lot of people. So for me, my like passion thing like for photography would be cars. There's no money in that.
Yeah.
Dude,
So like you'll do a lot of
the
stuff.
literal roadmap if you want to get into photography, and let's just say in general photography, not even video, just taking photos. And this is the path literally I would, if you were to start out, I would take. There's like, I guess like two things you could do is one, literally just go shoot your family photos, or like people that you know. Go shoot family photos for free. Just say, hey, I'll take your family photos for free. Boom, you post it online, they post it, say you did it. Like, bro, you are going to get a paying client like the next week. I guarantee you will. It's just how it works. That's one of the fastest ways is to literally go capture family. And then the other way is like if you don't want to do that side of the business, which again, family can then lead into people asking you to do weddings and stuff like that, right? Is if you want to do the more commercial side, is literally go to local places or small brands that don't have budgets and just literally do it, which we've done it for free many times to literally get our name in the door. And you have that portfolio, they post about that you did it, and then it spreads and you'll get clients that way. I mean, dude, it's literally like if you especially if you already have like a main job and you're wanting to do it on the side, you have the weekends, literally go shoot stuff for free until people just pay you now, and then it picks up more than your normal job. Boom, you're a full-time person. But it sounds easier said than done, but literally like being a solo photographer is not that hard. No, it's literally not.
The only hard part about starting it is just your
the learning curve of learning how to take good photos.
No, I mean that's that. It's just like how lazy are you? That's literally that's the only thing. Like
people would rather sit in bed for a couple hours scrolling on their phone than just going out and doing it and being a little uncomfortable. If you want to be but honestly, once you're in the moment doing that stuff, it's fun.
Yeah. If you want to be in the creative field, you just have to not be lazy. And the cool part about the creative field too, if you want to get into it and you literally start with nothing, just all you have is a camera and you want to start getting paid for this stuff, all you got to do is be not as lazy as the laziest person that's in the creative field.
Well, and honestly, if you're going to be lazy and you're not going to go out and do it, you shouldn't freaking do it. So you might as well just click off this video now and not get any more advice.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Yeah. That's with anything though.
You just shoot a bunch of photos for free for yourself and then you share them everywhere.
Yeah, people think they're just going to get paid off the bat. One, your photos are going to suck at the beginning. Mine sucked. Mine absolutely sucked. But there's someone out there who actually would probably like them that don't have good photos of their family or self-portraits or models that want to get photos or XYZ. There's so many different variables. Literally with photography, it is literally... or videography, I would say, is even more right now because you can literally make more and really help brands grow. You can take your phone and you can go make money easier than ever. It's the easiest, literally having your phone and making content is the easiest barrier to entry pretty much to making good money and ROI on your time in the history of the world.
Yep.
I mean, you can go out and get jobs, yeah, but I'm talking like good margin on your time.
Yeah, even now too, like it's saturated more because people are doing it. But I don't even think more people are doing it now. I think it's just more like
out there.
Well known now,
and it's more content more often.
Instagram's out there, TikTok's out there, so you see it more often. But I don't think more people are doing it. I think it's just how it's portrayed now and stuff.
I think a lot more people are doing it, but I think there's also now way huge of a base of people making basic TikTok and style content, and then the people that make high quality stuff. People still want that.
Oh yeah,
you know, 100%. So that's where you can make.
Yeah, I have a buddy right now who's Tyler Gooch. He's getting into it, and he's telling me he's asking me how to get started, and I was just telling him like just shoot stuff.
I mean, he's doing a good job.
He's doing great. So just start a portfolio, and then you'll get booked to do stuff, and then don't be. I guess the biggest secret for that stuff is just don't be too good for any project. Because you're not in the beginning. You have to do things you're not going to want to do. You're going to have to do weddings. By the way, you can get paid a good amount of money for this stuff. But then everything you do is going to lead up to whatever you want to do, whatever the passion is behind that. If you want to make money in car photography, there's money in it. It's just not in the beginning.
Also maybe not the way that you think it is.
Yeah.
Like you may think that car photography, like the money is in the like the big brand shoot with like
Porsche or Pagani or whatever.
It may not be there. The actual money may be in the content that you make on the way up to that.
Yep.
And then because of the content that you made, like whether it's short form for your own personal, like whatever, that may be where the actual money's at. And you get to shoot with them for basically pennies on the dollar. But now you say you shot for Porsche and There it goes.
The light goes out because you can't afford it.
But no, so you're still getting paid for that shoot. But if you're making the short form content all the way up, like there's money and everything. But you also you have to kind of decide
what your end goal is, sort of,
like,
in a sense. Or if you don't, just make money and then figure it out from there. Because when you have money, you're able to pivot way easier. If you have money saved up. But the problem is, when you make good money and then you get way too much debt and liabilities, you actually are probably almost, you have things to enjoy, but you're almost worse off than you were before, because it's harder to pivot now. Because if you don't make that money, you're gonna be screwed. So literally, that's what I felt like. You did too. Is we manage our money well, because then we're able to pivot and do other things because you had money saved up and you weren't being a degenerate like some of these young people are and spending all their money. And you can't pivot. You can't decide what you really want to do. And again, starting out, just having money saved up is good. Also reinvest it is good, because then you're going to grow and be able to charge more and make more money. But I also think there's a balance, so that way you don't, go in the hole.
I also think that it's good to have cash. I think it's good to enjoy your life. You basically you have to pay your you have to pay your living expenses. You have to enjoy your life, and you have to be able to save. There's places you can cut everywhere, but the saving and getting yourself kind of set up to do. Saving gives you the it comes down to choice, it gives you power, it gives you leverage, it gives you I don't know what an example would be, but if you
a good example is whenever we started the company, if we didn't have any money to be able to if I didn't have money from doing what I was doing before to be able to move down here and give up certain stuff to get down here and start this stuff, there would be no company. It just gives you options to be able to do stuff.
Yeah, it gives you options.
That's what it does.
It lets you take hedged risks.
Yeah. And then if you're you got to be self-aware too, because if you enjoy certain things, everything, there's always an equal force to everything. So if you make money and you enjoy cars and you want to buy cars, but then you don't have any money left, well, it's just I'm going to spend money on this. Cool. Well, then you're going to cut back on this. And then if you can do both, you're okay, I understand if I want to spend money on this, I got to make more money, got to not be as lazy. So it all works together in certain things. Yes, if you're that person who doesn't want to work very much, but you want the nice stuff, then you're going to give up something on this end. No problem. Yeah. But if you're that person who's all right, I like nice stuff. I'm making my money, and I want to also have these things too. I don't want to cut back on this. Well, then you got to be able to somehow okay, I can produce more then. Yeah. You have to know there's always an equal and opposite reaction to whatever you're doing. And
I think there's also you have to be very self-aware there. And there's also not a wrong answer. You can literally do whatever you want, but it's an understanding of, if I do this happens. If I do that, this happens.
Yeah. I'm a huge proponent of that. Yes, the investing and the saving and the being disciplined is super important, but also on the other side of it, you got to enjoy what you're doing in life. You have to enjoy it. So if you enjoy whatever your hobby is and you like to do that stuff, you like to spend money on that, if it's traveling, because Hunter loves to travel. I love to travel too, but he likes to travel in a different way than I like to travel. I enjoy vehicles. I enjoy shoes sometimes. I enjoy things like that. I just know if I'm going to enjoy those things, there's another thing I got to take care of on the side of that. Just how it goes. Yeah. So you just got to understand that. I don't think it's wrong for any young kid to, if he's in this field, to want to buy something nice. It's just, what are you buying it for? And then also, do you understand the repercussions of what you're going to buy? We had a young guy in here not too long ago. I won't say his name, but he basically was yeah, I want to buy a watch for this reason. And the reason wasn't a good reason to buy a watch. And it's okay, well, you got to understand why are you doing this? Is it because you were actually passionate about it, or is it to look a certain way? If it's to look a certain way, that's not a very long lasting reason to be able to afford it or to be able to take the negative parts of having that. Because now you're going to be well, I bought this, I look a certain way, but I don't really care. And now I'm paying for this and it sucks. Yeah. But if you're passionate about it and you enjoy it, then the sucky part is just like, okay, well, I enjoy it, so I'm gonna take care
Well,
of
yeah,
this
and buy
part.
the watch when you can actually enjoy it and pay for it. Like, not where you're freaking stressed out about stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you're stressed out about it, but you really enjoy the watch, it makes the stress way better than you buying it for somebody else.
I would still say don't.
No,
get
no,
it.
I agree with you. I agree with you. You're 100% right. But there's a reason. Like there's a stressful part of like, it's more enjoyable to be able to work harder because you enjoy that thing on your wrist than it is to be like, okay, I have this on my wrist for whoever else is going to see it, and now I'm struggling on this end. Like there's a whole different thing. I think Bradley talks about that too. Like he bought a nice car when he couldn't really afford it, but he loved the car and he loved like why he bought it. So it made it worth it for him and pushed him harder. If you're doing it for somebody else or like the way you want to look in this society now, because everybody's about that stuff. Like if you're online, you got to have the cool car, you got to have all this stuff. If you're doing it for that reason, you're going to hate your life.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for the passion behind it and like you enjoy it and you're taking the sacrifice on the other end because you enjoy it, then it's way better and it pushes you to go farther. That's what, at least in my experience, that's how it's been.
Metro's having fun.
Yep.
But he's pissed off.
I remember what I was going to say earlier is in this world, if you don't grow and move forward, then you're and you just think you're going to be able to stay the same. You're literally going to fall way behind over time. Because I mean, if you just look at inflation over 10 years, 20 years, like literally, if you were to stay at the exact same, everything else is just going to go way up, and you're going to be even less than where you were. So it's like, why not go for something?
Yeah.
In whatever it is. But yeah.
So what's your photography goals right now? What's going on with that?
Photography goals. I mean, I want to keep improving on that stuff. Like, so actually I had this thought whenever Riley asked me to be on the podcast, kind of like what that like truly was, because I feel like for the most part with my like role here right now, I've been getting better for sure, because so I've been doing photography for 7 years. Okay. 5.5 of those years was senior portraits, weddings, families, like that style of stuff, which in my humble opinion, I think I got pretty good at for doing it like one man band, no one to handle like lighting or like, you know, anything like that. And also not really like diving into that. I've only been doing this stuff. So like the product, you know, like more emphasis on that for like a year and a half. Like I did none of that at home, like zero. So it's been a lot of like growing into that. There you go. I want to continue to get better at that. I want to, obviously we kind of have two sides to like what photography is used for with us. It's ads, and then it's usually like professional, like website style content. I want to get better at the like ad side of things, because that still goes back to if you can make someone money, they're always willing to pay you money. So after being here for like a year and a half, I mean, this is kind of like, I believe in this like 100% going forward. But just part of my like personal risk is hedging myself against something happening. So if I can get extremely good at that, not only does that help here, but if something happens, I have what in my head appears to be the more valuable.
Oh yeah, for sure. I also think too, like your skills in photography, when you have a team of guys that are underneath you in that, you can lead better too. You can have better feedback on stuff. And like the goal is to bring on guys that are going to be better than you in the creative side. Yeah. But when it comes to the leading stuff, I was talking to Riley the other day about that. You have the other skills that will set you apart, so they can actually follow you and like listen to what you're saying. Yes. And if you know what you're talking about, if you have the skills that they can look up to, then it's a win-win. Yep. I think it's a big thing for me. Like there are going to be guys we're going to bring on that are going to get better than I am at the creative stuff. But then I have, I want them to be better than me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole goal. I have no, like, yes, I am competitive and do I think I can be the best 100% all the time, but like I want guys that are going to be better than me, but then also on the other side, like being able to see them win and then be able to lead them and like help them operate how we're building stuff, that's like super important. And that's going to be, that's the whole goal for what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think the skills are one thing for sure. And if anything went bad or something like that, then you have those skills, the things they can't get taken away from you. But the leadership skills too are just as important.
Yeah.
Because those things, and that's if you had to go get another job, that's the skill that's going to be able to get you to the higher levels.
For sure.
The creative side of being super skillful and creative, that's a way to be able to, make money on your own or be able to get hired by a company or whatever it is. But I think the leadership skills are super valuable. And a lot of people don't get those until later on in life.
Yeah.
No, I mean, and it's definitely something that, especially as like freelance stuff, like from like where we all come from, you don't really learn those because you do everything by yourself. So until you get in like an environment like this, you're never like forced to like learn that unless if you try to like, like you like dabble in starting to build something like this. But most of us don't. Like we kind of just start to make like what we make, and it's just.
Yeah. So to wrap up, how do you simply win?
How do I simply win? Well,
how does he win, Metro?
Well, I set an alarm for about 5:15. Probably snooze it once or twice. Get up. Go to the gym. Come here. Just make sure your fucking shit's done.
Simply,
yeah. I mean,
simply put.
And then
Zen.
Yeah,
is definitely your go-to.
God, yeah, no. Zenning is winning.
you have to develop an addiction to two things.
Yes, money and
Okay, I guess three things.
money and nicotine
and caffeine.
Yo,
that's so
but
funny.
no, I mean, yeah. Simply put, it's just making sure that if you have something to fucking do, you actually fucking do it.
That is the exact thing. Literally.
Because I promise you, if you actually have to do that thing and you don't do it, you're going to have to do it the next day.
Yep.
Like it's still going to be there. It's not going to magically poof. It's not.
Or if it's not there, it means something happened, which is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Client fired you or something because you didn't get the job done.
Yeah.
I think it's to simply win is just to simply hate to lose. Realistically.
Yeah.
Or it's literally like Colton said, simply just get the shit done.
Yeah, bro. I hate losing. I hate it. I hate losing. So like, if you hate it, then you're gonna have to win.
Yeah.
At something. And by the way, simply winning is not always feeling like you're winning.
No, because I bet you don't feel like you're winning.
Well, that's why we didn't call it simply happy.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, it's true. You do little things over and over and over again, and it doesn't seem like you're winning, but you are, because a lot of people don't do the things every single day.
I guess simply winning does feel good, but I guess the process of winning does not feel good.
No, but after you're done,
I don't think ever. Winning never the process to win never feels good for anybody. Winning championships, you're gonna work your butt off. You're gonna freaking train like no other. You're probably gonna throw up, be sick, like
lose,
get hurt, and gotta recoup. Or if in business, you're gonna have people come and go. You're gonna have to let people go, hire new people. There's gonna be ups and downs, but at the end of the day, when you get to that winning spot, it was all worth it because you put it in.
And winning in anything, it starts to compound. So like whenever you're investing, your first year you put $100 in. Okay, well, you made 10% on that. That's $10. Well, and 10 years from now, whenever that's at 10,000, well, 10%'s
1,000.
Yeah. So just think about that.
Yeah. Yep. Compound investing, treat it like, treat your work like compound investing. Do the compound work, and then you will come out on top and win.
And generally, it means that you're doing the same amount of work. The work, and something like this, like in this, talking like photography or Brother Dale in general, it changes. But generally speaking, your work is always going to stay close to the same. You can only do so much. Mm-hmm. There's only 24 fucking hours in a day, Marcus.
There is only 24. Well, maybe.
But if you keep doing things to help you get that 10% better,
I think structuring your day is a good part of it too.
Yeah.
Oh, one cool thing before we end the podcast. When Colton first came down here, he was interested in working with a company, And finally, we're going to be working with them.
Actually, that was the reason that,
which is crazy.
That was one of the reasons that I moved down.
Yeah. I'll say the company. Yeah. Stevenson Ranch right here. Boom. So yeah, Colton's been an OG of Stevenson Ranch. So shout out Mike. He probably won't see this, but we can DM him a short because he normally responds. Cool, really cool dude. But we
shout out Stags too, right?
Yeah, Stags is awesome.
Stags the boy.
Yeah, Stags actually is a huge reason why we're even working with him. Actually, he's one of the biggest reasons. Him and Nick. But we did a project, and then it was cool because Colton came down because he wanted to work with them eventually, and he was one of the OG for the homies. Right.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Pre Stevenson Ranch.
Yeah.
Well, I would say real quick, real shout outs. I mean, Hell on Wheels, Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
And having us do that shoot,
Yep.
which then they saw the content, which then Mike was like DMing, like, this is sick. Planted the seed. Months later, now we're working together on a monthly basis for content. Nick and
Stags. So Stags helped, get it over the finish line whenever it came to like actually talking to Mike and all them about other stuff. But it's kind of funny, like fast forward 2 years later.
Yeah,
boom.
It's only been 2 years. Like that's the
Wow. It's only been 2 years.
I've only been a year and 9 months is what I've been here. I'm pretty sure.
That's a short amount of time, but it's felt like it's
been like a decade, bro.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of, we do so much in 1 year. It's insane. The amount we do in 1 year. Think about it. Most people literally just like same thing, go to the same cubicle, maybe a trip or two, and then like it's literally their year probably feels like eternity, but our year there's packed full of life, so much good times. Like it's insane.
Dude, you can work your way out of
misery,
pretty much everything. Yeah, you just work really hard, and you have to like make one day get the stuff done that you could do in a week. Like those are the things you can do.
Yeah,
you can do it.
And then once you do it, then you're like, then you're trying to do that every day of the week, and then you're like, shoot, I can't fit a week into a day anymore because I've already compounded it too hard.
That's true.
But
that's kind of why it feels like it's been so long.
No, I appreciate you coming here, Colton. I think this was a great podcast, like a little more laid back, a little more just chatting with the boys type of deal instead of us having to be all like on top of like questions and stuff. I think it's like better for people to like, for us, it's easy to be like, oh, what are we going to talk about? But let's just talk because there's people that don't know us that want to know us more in depth and hear from everyone. So I think it's good to be able to do stuff like this.
Yeah. I mean, I know this is going to be like the most exciting podcast, and I truly don't give a flying fuck. But I mean, it's. I
was excited to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably a good little like it's like a good like mid-season break. Yeah. It's like mid-season. The episode that you can kind of like put on.
Yeah.
Maybe
well, I mean, if you're a photographer or somebody who's trying to get into this stuff, or it's really anybody, like this is a good podcast to listen to because it's not fluff, it's not all the fluff that people you just go on Instagram or TikTok and see all this stuff. Like it's real simple. It sucks and then it doesn't suck after a little while. It
really is simple, and I guess one thing to kind of like round.
All right, let's round it.
The like
bring it home
side of that stuff out is if you're getting paid $100 for a shoot, just assume that shoot is worth like 3 times more, because realistically what you're probably going to do is you're going to post that, they're going to tell their own people, you'll probably get at least 2 or 3 at least inquiries off that stuff. And so say you were originally charging $100 for the shoot, if you only get 2, you can charge $150 now. That's worth $300 minimum.
Yep.
So like I've never had a wedding or a family session or a senior session that I posted and had them post that didn't lead to more work for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
well said.
It basically comes down to if you do something for free, make sure you get something to where they're posting on their fucking Facebook and letting everyone know that you did that for them and that they love them.
Yeah. Just screaming loud what you do.
I love you and you love me. All right, boys. We're gonna peace out. I'm gonna simply win now. Take our advice and go get to work.
We're gonna go edit now.
Hiya.
Peace.
Boom.